and welcome to another evening where I am cooking up a delicious, luxurious, luxe but budget friendly, high protein meal that I am going to use for dinner and to be able to meal prep for my lunch tomorrow. If you've been following me, you know that I've been on a high protein kick. And one of the things that I've been doing is making sure that I am able to think, be intentional about the meals that I'm cooking so that I can really hit those high protein numbers to help with my weight loss. And tonight we are doing a dish that is so easy. You're gonna definitely wonder why you've never made this, but so delicious. You're gonna probably want to eat this more than one or two nights in a row, which is something I normally don't do. I love to change up my meals. So tonight we're doing a coconut curry chickpea. Now, originally I was gonna just have it as the chickpea by itself, but when I came home this evening, hubby had already sauteed some chicken tenderloins. So I said, you know what? Let's keep that and I will add that to the dish. But for now, I'm going to show you how to make the coconut curry chickpeas, which is so delicious. Now, I am from the Caribbean, so coconut dishes and curry dishes are just a thing. That is something that we do often. We love making dishes with curry, we love making dishes with coconut, and what better way than to put both of them together and make a beautiful dish. It's this one, if without the chicken, it's still going to be high protein, but with the chicken, I think I'm going to be able to hit the goals that I normally have set, which is trying to eat about 30 to 40 grams of protein in each meal. Now, I'm excited about this because one, it is such an easy and quick meal that it comes together very quickly. However, with the flavoring and the spices, you are definitely going to be in for a treat on this one. Mr. White, hello, thank you for joining. So we're going to start this dish, as I said, coconut curry chickpeas. And the chickpeas is a really good way of getting that protein into a meal. So if you're not incorporating chickpeas, I want after this meal, after this session, you definitely go out and buy some because it is so easy and it's so easy to flavor it. It's so easy to cook it, and it's not going to take a long time as well. So that's what we're doing. Hello, Donna. Hello, GM. Thanks for joining. All right. So we're talking coconut curry. And as I said, I'm from Trinidad. So that is just something that is absolutely a part of our cuisine. Anything with coconut, anything with curry, I'm going to like. And I'm going to mix this together. But I'm going to show you how to literally build on the flavor profile on this. Because what I don't want you to do in this, there are a lot of things that I've seen people doing cooking it, and I'm like, that's not going to get you the depth of flavor you really want. What I don't want you to do is to just throw in these spices without really doing a trick that I'm going to show you first. So watch me do this and make sure that you're not doing all the things that I say don't do, because I've seen it. Unfortunately, I did it before my mom saw it and she was like, what in the world are you doing? That is never, ever how we cook any type of curry at all. So I'm going to show you what I've learned, and I'm going to show you how quick and easy this is. Also, this is a very budget friendly dish. When I say budget friendly, like super budget friendly. So as I said, without the chicken, it is just the chickpeas, and that's your main protein. Very budget friendly. You can buy it in the cans, buy a big one. You can also make a big batch of this and freeze it for those who are meal prepping. In my case, I'm going to make for dinner, and I'm going to have enough left over for lunch tomorrow. So it's easy to make a big batch, and it tastes even better the next day. Coconut curry chickpeas, let's begin. Okay, so if you see me walk away from the camera, it's because I have some things on the side and I want to bring in and out But this is what we're going to be using tonight, chickpeas. And I can't remember how much this was. I think this was like $3 or $4. And so this is the 29 ounce, which is a pound. And this is going to give us 6 grams of protein in each serving. Okay. I'm probably going to have like 3 servings of this because this is going to be the main protein. But as I said, when I got home, hubby had already sauteed some chicken tenders. So we may chop that up and add it, which is just going to add to that protein, which is probably going to get me over the point that I'm looking for, which is 30 to 40 grams of protein each meal. Okay. Sarah Henderson, thank you for joining. John Burke, welcome back. GM, this is Art. Thank you so much. All right. So because I'm going to be doing family of 4, we're going to do a few cans. So I got a large can and then I didn't know which way to go. So I got a couple of the small cans. The hardest thing in this meal is going to be your patience. I promise you that is it. Patience in building the spices. Do not just pour spices in and then say you're good to go. So I want you to watch me work on this one because this one is going to be a work of art. Okay, so I'm going to grab my cutting board. Here. Did you know I made this? I made this cutting board, by the way, because I'm a very DIY person. So with different strips of wood, made this cutting board, which one of my favorite. And so we're going to start off with cutting board, and we're going to get my favorite knife of the hour. If you've been watching me, you saw that I unboxed this knife that I got from Japan a few nights ago. And it's the Miyabi knife. This thing is definitely chef's kiss on that. And so here are the things that we're going to need for this dish. And you definitely want to make sure some of them, to me, you kind of have to have. And we're getting in with the ginger. I've been talking to you guys a lot about, hey, if you have a piece of ginger in some of these meals, it just adds everything. So we're going to do a ginger and garlic. We have some onions too. But these are like, this is the aromatics. I promise you, it brings the level of this dish to Lux level, 5-star level. Like you're going to be like, damn, did I order this? From a restaurant. I can't believe I cooked it. So we don't need this much ginger. I'm going to cut a piece. And if you haven't worked with ginger before, you want to basically peel the skin. Gabriella, we're cooking coconut curry chickpeas as a high protein meal. We're cooking it for dinner. And then we're going to be able to leave some leftovers for lunch, okay, for tomorrow. I'm trying to get to at least 35 grams of protein. And so in this, the main protein is the chickpeas. But when I got home, I saw that my husband had sauteed some chicken tenders. I don't think he thought I was cooking tonight. So he had started. And so I can add that at the end, or if I don't want to, I can leave it out. Okay, so that's what I like chickpeas. Like the nights when I just don't feel like having a meat, this is something that's so easy, flavorful, quick to make, and obviously hitting my high protein. So I'm peeling this ginger right now. I just want a trash bowl. So I'm going to put this bowl here. Okay, so you have this piece. I think I want a little more because as I said, it's going to go so well with the curry and it goes really, really well with the coconut. So we are going to definitely want to make sure we don't get skimpy on it. Everybody in my house loves ginger, so I don't mind adding even more. If you're not a big ginger person, or you've never cooked with it, then try a small piece and then see how you like it. Because for some people, they're like, it's too much. Okay? Sama. Dinner is coconut curry chickpeas. High protein. We're gonna do a small little salad on the side, and then I'm gonna have it with some wild rice. I'm not gonna make the wild rice. It's one that I have from Trader Joe's that I could pop into the oven. I mean, into the microwave. So make it simple, right? Like not everything got to be home cooked from scratch. It's the middle of the week. It's Sunday. Um, it's Wednesday here for me, and so I am definitely just trying to get dinner quickly, um, so that we can relax even earlier tonight. Hope everyone is having a wonderful Wednesday. Hey, yo, boy Coco, thanks for joining. Always love seeing when you pop up with your hi. I love that. Thank you for coming back and supporting the channel. If you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe to this channel. On this channel, I do talk about luxe lifestyle, not only cooking, but other things, lifestyle in general. And so I'm gonna chop this up like, if you had garlic, right? I'm just gonna put it in, just gonna chop it up now. And this is one of the reasons I absolutely love this knife. It allows me to do this so much quicker than I normally would do with those other knives. I'm like, I have definitely been missing out. When I went to Japan, this was one of the things that I definitely said I was going to treat myself on, because it wasn't cheap. I think it was like 200 for the knife. But now I am I worth every penny, and now I see the difference. I see why chefs have their own knives, and they're definitely worth it. Okay, so I'm just mincing up the this is ginger, right? So if you're just joining, we are making coconut curry chickpeas, and we're gonna add some chicken to it. But I did not make the chicken. Hubby made the chicken, but it's a great way to really boost the protein in this. But your chickpeas is your protein if you're gonna do it without the chicken. All right, we're gonna get some garlic. We're gonna cut up some garlic, and then we're gonna cut up some onions. Okay, so the aromatics. We're gonna build the flavor. Okay, I don't want you just throwing everything in a pot and throwing the seasoning on there, especially when it comes to curry. You want to toast the seasoning, like toast the curry, and I'll show you what that means. But you really want to toast that so that all of the flavor in the curry really could come through and give you that delicious curry infused, I would say, with the coconut. Because I tried this dish once years ago, and I was just putting the curry like it was like how I would put garlic powder. And my mom saw, and she was like, "What in the world are you doing?" She's from Trinidad. My mom is a really good cook, and she was like, there's no way that food is gonna taste amazing, and that curry is gonna taste so blah." And she was absolutely right. It didn't even feel like there was curry on there. Like the only thing that you knew it was curry was because of the color. But you have to toast it, and I'll explain what that means, because people are like, well, what do you mean you toast the curry? But I will explain that, and I will show you. But the thing about this dish is patience. You want to build up the flavor. You don't want to just throw things together and call it a day. And it will taste, and you will know that you've built a flavor if you do it the way I'm going to show you. So I don't care what other places you're seeing when you look at the recipes and they're like, some curry, put some curry over it. That is not how curry is cooked. Okay, you got to toast it. You got to make it a paste. You got to cook it in an oil. It's a process, a quick process, but you'll be so thankful you did it that way, because then you really are going to taste, the food is going to taste much better. Okay? Now, if you're just joining me for the first time and you just came across this live, my name is Ayana Peterson, and I go by the Thrifting Diva. And the reason you're watching me cook is because recently I decided that I am going to really figure out my health, and I really wanted to lose some weight, um, because one, I started gaining weight and my clothes wasn't fitting me. And the backstory of my clothes not fitting me anyway, or why do I care, is that part of my entire brand, I would call it, is fashion. And I have a lot of clothes that I thrift because, as I said, luxe lifestyle on a budget. And when I realized that the clothes wasn't fitting, I was like, listen, baby, we cannot afford to buy all these new clothes. I love my clothes and I just need to get back in shape. And so as the first thing you do is you hit the gym. And I was like, okay, but I've done this before. And yes, I did lose weight, but something was missing. And so I really started doing some, good old fashioned research. And if you know me, you know me. I will research the hell out of something. Now, it could be because my background, I'm an attorney, and research is the number one thing we're going to do when given any issue. You're going to research it. Research the question, research the answer, research the solution, okay? And so for me, I started researching that, and I was like, one of the things I learned was that how important nutrition is. Um, Getting anxiety. Why? Am I chopping wrong? um, One of the things I learned a lot about this process, if you want to get in shape, if you want to really, you know, get to the point of where things are easy for the body, where you look great, you feel great, the weight is staying off, you don't have to starve yourself, then it really is about nutrition. It's not just going to the gym and going hard every day. Like that, working out is going to be part of it, but it's not the most important part. It's the nutrition that's the most important part. Okay, so my eyes are watering, so I'm stopping with the onions because Jesus, ugh. I do not know why they haven't invented something yet for us to not water, or eyes to not water when we cut onions. It's so crazy. The key pieces to this meal are going to be probably everything. But I would say garlic and ginger, and most importantly, you need to have tomatoes. So, um, tomatoes is a big part of this, and you're gonna see why. But you really, really need to have your tomatoes, fresh tomatoes, better than the canned tomatoes. Um, and I love how this knife can just going through like butter, as you can see, going through like butter. Um, and this tomatoes is going to help give you that sauce and the sweetness from the coconut. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you. But I'm trying to cut up everything in one so that when we start cooking, we don't have to stop. Okay? Anyway, so going back to why you're watching me cook, as I said, really started doing the research, and I don't want to go on a diet. Like, that was the one thing I was like, I get it, I can work out. But I'm not doing this diet nonsense. I am not sitting and, like stopping eating everything. And, like, I want this to be something that I can take long term. I want it to work, for one, but I don't want it to be a gimmick. Like, okay, no carbs for 30 days, eat water alone, lemon juice. Yeah, I'm not doing all that. Like, to me, that's just painful. I'm not getting up to just, I want to be able to eat things. And I know the answer is everything in moderation. So I haven't stopped myself from eating everything, but I am definitely more deliberate and intentional. But the one thing that I kept coming back to was that high protein. So I started weight training, and I weight train every 5 days a week. And the one thing every nutritionists, doctors, um, weight folks, gym rats, whatever they were, kept saying, hey, you got to make sure that you're doing high protein. High protein. And so I started looking at recipes, but you see the same thing over and over and over again. And I was just like, come on. Like, do we have to eat chicken breasts with one thing for all the entire time for 4 days a week? Do we have to eat the same cottage cheese with, you know, strawberries every time? And I was just like, I can't. So as I started figuring out, what proteins are, how they work with our body, and more importantly, how they show up in our food, then it became more fun to start coming up with recipes or researching recipes, and seeing like, okay, how can I make this more high protein? How can I add to this to make it more high protein? So I think this is good. I think I did 3. It's the recipe from an Indian kitchen. I don't know. I think, yeah, I'm from the Caribbean, from Trinidad. And in Trinidad, we have a high percentage of East Indians and there. So the foods kind of mix in after time, and blend. But this is something from Trinidad that we do pretty often, when you don't have any meats. They call it, here we will be like, oh, it's a vegetarian option. In the Caribbean, it's what they will normally call poor man food, because the recipe calls for very inexpensive ingredients. As you can see, it's tomatoes, there's ginger, garlic, some onions, chickpeas, right? And coconut milk. And in the Caribbean, that's pretty inexpensive to get, even for a family that doesn't have a lot of money. So we call it the poor man food. Here in America, it's a choice to be on this is a vegetarian food or vegetarian meal, or we are deliberately not eating meat tonight. So this is something that we'll make, okay? But I don't, I'm sure in India, the influences are there. So I'm sure they have that there. Okay. I always love red bell peppers and everything. For some reason, it just gives food that extra flavor to me. It's not it's not needed if you don't have it, but if you do, why not? We need a video about your workout in detail. Salmon, that's actually a good one, and I could do that. Um, love the dress. Thank you so much. The dress is a thrifted piece that I got years ago from, the Goodwill when I was living in DC. I'm in the military, so we move a lot. And I remember getting this dress in. It's just a quick, easy, but different. The colors, right? It's just a quick, easy thing to put on in the morning, still look put together, which is one of my biggest things. That even if I'm working, I work in the military. I obviously I wear a uniform, but I still get dressed up every morning before I leave for work, because I wanna show up as the person that looks like she's ready to take on the day. Okay, and so that's why that's one of the reasons I said, Ayana, you really got to get your body in shape, and you got to feel healthy and do the things, because it can't just be about the looks and the outfits, but the inside got to be ready too. I'm telling you, this knife, I swear, I don't know why I lived without. For a person who loves to cook as much as I do, I should have had something like this at my disposal. But now I do, so I'm not going to keep complaining. But every time I use it, it's just so incredible how quick and easy I'm able to do things. Okay, so I have everything here. And as you can tell, I just want to make sure, especially as you're coming in, what we have laid out is the things that's going to build the flavor for this. And then let me show you the spices we're going to use, because That's going to be what kills this meal. Okay, so we're going to get some curries. Oh, ooh, jeez. Wow, nearly lost my paprika there, but sorry. Okay, here's I call this my curry box. Because there's a little mixture of things that you may or may not have in the area that you're in, but you know, Amazon has everything, I promise you. So this is Madras curry. This is the special curry. Like this is not the curry you just get like in the, like when you go to the supermarket. This is not no McCormick curry. This is onion powder, but I'm telling you the name because I've seen the McCormicks and I'm like, sir, ma'am, no. This is like a true Indian curry, but they call it the Madras curry. Okay. Now the other one that I have is because we have to order this, and that's why it's like this big. I think hubby ordered this on. He got this one. He got the Blue Mountain one, probably from Amazon. But this is a Jamaican powder curry. Okay, it's a mix we're about to do. But you could use only one if you don't have to use both. But I'm telling you, it's gonna make a difference. Okay, so thanks, Thrifting Atlanta. I am Bani Khalsa. I am from Trinidad. Okay, so this one is the India Madras curry. You see, Madras is what we call it. And then we're going to mix a little bit of this. I'm going to show you how we're doing it. Do not sprinkle the curry over the chickpeas. That's not how you're going to make this. It's not going to come out the same, okay? And I don't want you sending me a message saying, girl, I don't know what you were doing, but that curry did not taste good. Okay? Here's another one. Ground masala, which is a type of curry as well. But I'm going to just use the Madras curry. I don't need the masala today, okay? So this is my box here for all my specialty curries and stuff like that. I have the Arabic spices. I'm telling you, the minute you start putting spices on your food, you open a whole new world. You open a whole new world to cooking. So we're not doing McCormick curries. Okay, so find something else. But if you want to do this, it's really the dish is amazing. I'm making sort of an Indian dish. It's coconut curry, chickpeas, which I'm sure in India or parts of India they make this. But I learned this dish when I was I learned this dish from my mom, who's Trinidadian, and that's how we make ours here. In Trinidad, there's a very big population of Indians, so obviously a lot of our foods are intertwined, okay? All right, so let's go over to the pot. We're about to cook and be finished in about 10 minutes because it's that quick, okay? All right. Now, as I mentioned, the couple things I do need to get from the fridge, I want to get some cilantro and I want to get some lime juice because it's a Caribbean thing. It's a Caribbean thing. So let me make sure I have some lime. And then I'm going to get, do I have any more cilantro? Parsley. Okay. I have a little bit of cilantro left, so get that. And then I have some green onions. I'm just going to try to use up some of this stuff before they go bad. Okay, so these are I don't need to put these in right away. My cilantro looks like it's dead, so I'm going to definitely need to use that up. And some lime, but that's at the end. Okay, here in India, it's most probably Ghana dish or Goan dish. Okay, I'm learning something new. Thank you. All right, so let me bring you over to the pot. As I mentioned, hubby had already sauteed some chicken. If we want to add the chicken at the end, we can do so. You don't have to. I was not planning, but it's there. and it's going to add that extra protein. So it's probably going to definitely top me out at um, my 50 grams of protein that I want to make in each meal. Okay, so you want to get a good, nice, deep pot. Or just going to rinse this out. Some because we want to make sure our pot is nice and clean. So one of the things that you want to do, as I said, for this meal, is to make sure you cut up everything in advance. So you're not doing anything while the food is cooking, and you can really work on building the flavors, okay? All right? No one says that because you're trying to eat better, trying to hit health goals, that the food has to stay and be the same every day. Like, please, let's not make that a thing. And so for me, I normally cook every night, but I also take the food, whatever I cook at night, I normally have that for for lunch the next morning. We definitely need to figure out what's going on with this pilot. I need to relight this pilot because y'all heard all that noise, right? When I know, where is he said, where's Damien when we need him? He probably is coming late with the crew. Okay. So I'm gonna heat this up. I'm gonna make sure you guys could see what I'm doing. Let me know if you're not seeing it. Okay, there. Okay. So what we're gonna do first is make sure this is nice and hot. And we're gonna get some olive oil. And the first thing we're gonna do is start. I'm gonna bring my veggies over a little bit so you can see. But first thing we're gonna start with is the onions. And then we're gonna add the garlic, and then garlic and ginger together, the aromatics, okay? And the onions are going in first so it could, wilt down first, and then the smaller pieces are gonna go right after that. But do not throw everything together, okay? That's not gonna get you all the building of the spices and stuff. And then you're gonna see what I mean when we start putting those things together, okay? This is a very quick meal. Absolutely a super quick meal. You can make this in 30 minutes. I'm going to stretch it out to an hour to be with you guys. But this is a meal that I've often made in 30 minutes or less, especially when, like we're hungry, we need to eat quickly and we don't have time. Okay? All right. So we're going to start. There. And we're going to start adding and building. Okay, remember we're starting first medium heat with we're starting first with the onions. Okay. And I just chopped up the onions, small bite-sized, very small bite-sized pieces. But medium heat. I don't want anything burning. Remember at the beginning of this video, I said the biggest thing on this video is going to be cooking this meal is going to be your patience. You just have to, this is something you're going to be over the pot for a little longer than normal. It's not a set it and forget it in the beginning, but you want to pay attention to the things. You want to smell the food. You're going to take your cues from the smells to know where you're at. And so now that the onions are starting to look a little translucent, you want to add. I'm going to be like that. A little oil, and then I'm going to add now garlic and And this is going to take a little longer to get down, but this is the garlic and the ginger. Those are your aromatics. I promise you, if you start cooking with ginger and garlic for everything, you're just going to be like, oh my gosh, you'll know when it's missing. Because it's just a smell that is just, no one can replicate that smell for me. It's just so amazing. How much was the curry? Like on Amazon, Onisha, is that what you're saying? I'm preparing lunch and dinner. So we're going to have this for dinner tonight, and then we're going to leave some out for tomorrow. Like we're always cooking, thinking of the next day, so I don't have to worry about it. Because remember, I'm trying to eat where I'm hitting those low calorie goals, but also the high protein. And so I know for a fact if I do this, I'm going to have at least 50 grams if I use the chicken of protein for lunch. And then tomorrow morning, what I will do is tomorrow is have a parfait with boiled eggs for my breakfast. And then obviously this tonight. So, um, Onisha, I think the curry, I don't know. Like, I think it was like about $10 for it. For that big, it's pretty huge. Like, we cook with curry a lot though. So for us, we're okay with that. But we cook with curry a lot in this house. Um, my husband especially makes like a lot of like curries and stuff like that. So we go through this big one rather quickly. And then this one also we go through. So, okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Remember what I said? We're going to be toasting the curry. The onions are, translucent or clear as you can see it. It's starting to little burn a little bit. Not burn, but brown, like the brown bits. The onions are there. The garlic is, you could smell the garlic and you could smell the curry, the ginger. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. Let me get a spoon. I couldn't tell you how much because I just kind of work with the eyes. So what I'm going to do is, so look, I have like a regular spoon. And this is what we call toasting the curry. So I would say a full spoon of this. There we go. This is, to me, the Madras curry is like almost like what you consider like a very concentrated curry. Okay? And so then this one, I'm also going to go in like a half. And now we're toasting it in the sense that there's really no liquid in the pot except for these things here. Okay? And you want to do this like you see how it looks like it's crumbling together. I'm actually going to add a little more madras because it looks a little too bright yellow. I want it to be a little darker. And so that means I overpowered it with the Jamaican curry. And then go in again. And we're just getting all the bits up onto that thing. And that's what you call toasting it. Okay? It looks weird. Promise you, you're building it here. And now it's going to be on high, almost like you're toasting something. And that's what we call toasting the curry. Okay? So it's being toasted with the onions, the garlic, and the ginger. Hey girl, I broke my leg today. What? Oh my gosh. I have never, oh my, that's so sad, Bailey. I'm so sorry to hear that. Okay. Sorry, I'm jumping from your broken leg back to the pot, but this is one of those things I have to pay attention to. Okay. Now, next thing we're going to do, we're going to add the tomatoes and the red peppers. And yeah. Okay. And the smell and build is coming. You see how that looks? Let me bring you closer so you can really get into that pot. There we go. And I still have my pot on high. You're going to leave that for a little bit. Now remember, I haven't done any other seasonings except for the curry, okay? We're still going to season this because we season our foods. Ladies and gents, we season our food because seasonings are not going to add any calories to us. Dry seasonings especially, they're not adding any calories. So go. Okay, while that's going, I'm going to open up my chickpeas. I'm going to run them under some water to kind of get some of that salt off of it. And I hope you're doing the same when you're cooking with any type of canned beans and stuff like that. Just run it a little bit under some water so that you can get, the sodium that is used for the water packaging and preservation. And now I'm going to pour that in there. I have another can to come. And now all I'm doing is opening it and running it under the water so that I could get some of the salt off of that. Because I'm still going to put salt on it, but I want to be able to determine how much salt. I don't want the cans, I want to be able to determine that. And so we're going to go in like that. And we're going to be building this. Now we're going to add a little bit of seasonings. Look at how beautiful this is looking. And when I say it smells amazing, I know I say this all the time, but I love when somebody is coming to my house and they open the door and they're like, oh my God, what is cooking? What is cooking? Okay. And that's why I said this is something that you can make in advance. And this freezes really, really well. And then you can, okay, we're not done. Let's start adding a little bit of seasonings. I'm gonna have some salt. I'm gonna add some thyme. I don't have fresh thyme, so I'm just gonna go in with my the dry thyme. Just use less of the Jamaican. Yes, yes. I probably used a little too much, but it's all good. And this the curry is not necessarily high protein. It's the chickpeas that's giving you your protein. The curry doesn't do anything besides flavor. But look at that. Oh my God. Why am I keep throwing beans off? Okay, let's go in and add our star of the night, and that's the coconut milk. Okay, and the coconut milk is not going to give us that much protein either, but it's going to give us something. It has 2 grams. Okay. And so the one I'm using, this one is it's the Goya coconut milk as well. It's dairy free and gluten free, if that matters to you. And what I'm gonna add as long to get some more protein in here is, do you remember this week I made a meal that with the quinoa that called for the bone broth? So I'm gonna add the bone broth, the rest of this, just to get this finished out. And this is a seasoned bone broth, chicken with sea salt. So that's fine as long as you're, doing this dish because you're not, you know, vegetarian, complete vegetarian and don't want any type of animal byproducts. And then you're bringing this, I have this on high. I want to drop this back down to medium. I think I'm going to add a little more coconut milk. Make sure you're not getting the cream of coconut. It's just the coconut milk, okay? The cream of coconut is the very sweet cream that normally you'll see in pina coladas. That's not what we're cooking here. Remember, we're trying to high protein, low calories. Okay, it's missing some little green, so I'm gonna chop up a little bit of our cilantro and get that in there. And I'm gonna just chop up some green onions. Okay, drop that in now. Remember, I'm not dropping any curry at this point like I did before. That's the biggest mistakes I made when I was cooking this before. And then I'm gonna see if I have any pepper. I don't think I have any, but I want to have a little bit of heat with this. So I may just put some cayenne pepper in here because I want a little bit of heat. Get us going here. Okay, here's the cayenne pepper. Just a little bit, because you can't have Caribbean food without a little bit of heat. And I'm gonna, the smells, the curry, the coconut, the tomatoes, everything is starting to melt. I'm just gonna cut up a little bit of cilantro. Okay. And then last but not least, we're gonna get some lime. I'm just gonna put some lime in there. Okay. Now, there we go. And what I want to do so that all of this gets really in there, actually I did not add black pepper, did I? I got the chickpeas that I use is the ones in the can because I am lazy, but I just use the ones in the can. I come home and it's just open those, rinse them in the water, and that's what I'm using. And so I'm going to do one last thing. So we're going to cover this, right? My fire is on medium, and I'm just going to have that simmer just for a little bit. And that's how easy that is. So for those who's asking just now, the chickpeas. You can add tofu or cottage cheese. Really? Should I add the cottage cheese? Because that's going to get me my 50 grams of protein immediately. I have some cottage cheese. I've never tried it with the cheese. I was going to add yogurt too, and I was like, I wonder. But I will definitely try that again. In this, we use raw mango powder. Okay. Instead of the lemon. Okay. Wow. And this curry is of high protein. You can add tofu. I was walking with my boyfriend, and a van and I was speeding, so I pushed my boyfriend out of the way. By the way, what are you cooking? I'm so sorry to hear about your legs, but I'm glad that you're okay. Obviously, to be able to be on a live tonight, and that you're not even in serious condition outside of the broken leg. We cooked curry, mango curry, chickpeas, and then as I said, my husband made some of these. So I'm just gonna cut these up because that could go right on top. And so I'm gonna do that right now, actually, because he has the chicken in there, and then we could just add the chicken to that. So all we're gonna do is, this is already cooked, and so I'm just cutting them up nice and pretty, right? And I'm just gonna add them. I'm just gonna add them to the bowl. Why make it go to waste? And even though he did not cook it with obviously curry, um, he didn't cook it with the intent for this to go in the curry. He didn't know I was cooking tonight. This will still this adds a lot of protein to the meal immediately. Next time I'm gonna add the cottage cheese just to see how it tastes. I've just never had it before, but I could definitely see myself doing that. Now, you may ask, like, what are you gonna eat it with? And so I'm gonna eat it. I'll show you the rice that I get when I am really not in the mood. If I had thought more about this, I probably would have made some pita bread, because I love to just eat this, the sauce and the chicken. And the chickpeas with like naan bread or something like that. But I don't have any, so I'm gonna have to eat it with rice tonight. But I've eaten this before without anything. Like, this is enough to carry a full meal. Like, I just have it in a bowl. And so here we go. So this is the chicken that, as I said, my husband made chicken before he knew what I was cooking. And so you just add it to the meal like that. And now we have curry, chickpea, coconut, curry, chickpea, and chicken. But as I said, I meant to cook this only without the chicken, but you can add it like that. All right. Taste. Let's see if I need to do any other seasoning. Nothing at all. Absolutely nothing. The lime juice, the cilantro coming together with the curry, the tomatoes is making that thick. I didn't have to add something to make it thick, because the tomatoes is thickening the sauce. So we have this thick sauce that you can, we call it a gravy in the Caribbean, but this thick sauce that goes with it. And now you can ladle it over anything that you feel, or you can eat it by itself like this. All right, let me show you how we're gonna finish this up. And this is how quick and easy this meal was tonight. Like, not a lot, pretty one pot meal, right? So you're not in the kitchen all evening. Chi curry, new name. Okay. I'm gonna get the rice to show you what we're doing with this. So I get this rice medley from Trader Joe's, and I really, really love it. You get 3 in a box, sorry. And all you have to do is put it in the microwave for like 3 minutes, and then it's good. And so it's trying to get the things for you. It's rice, obviously, but it's a mixed rice. Brown rice, red rice, and black barley. Those are the three rice in there. I can't, oh, I don't have the nutrition value, but this is what it looks like. Throw it in the microwave, and then I'm gonna pour it, you have this. If you keep your fire slow, the longer you keep it, the more thicker the sauce goes. Especially if you keep it covered and keep it like almost like you're steaming it, and low, it will thicken the sauce. So it tastes amazing. Okay. Um, Hey, girl dad, how are you? Thanks for jumping on. We are just finishing up our meal today. Tonight we cooked a coconut curry chickpeas. Added chicken in the end because we had some chicken that was here. I'm gonna probably make a little salad to go with this, like a fresh tomato salad, and some maybe just throw that on there on the side. But that's it. That is exactly how easy this is. And as I said, I'm probably going to be able to definitely, with the chicken, be over 50 to probably over 40, maybe close to 40 grams of protein. And so I promise you, if you start being more intentional about that protein, you're going to see how amazing the body starts to clap back. I'm so excited. Like I'm losing weight. I feel energized. I don't feel like I have to stress myself about this too much. So definitely something you want to think about. Definitely something you want to incorporate, especially if you don't have to do it for every meal, but maybe one of your meals if in the beginning is just definitely trying to aim for a high protein, 40 grams or much or more for your meal. I think that's going to help and you'll start seeing the difference quickly. You make chickpea salad also. Yes. I love a chickpea salad. It is. I love chickpeas. I think the next meal I'm going to, not meal, but I want to make some snacks with the chickpeas by roasting it. And I think I might do that. I might do that tonight, actually. I have another can of chickpeas. I may put it in the oven and roast it. And that could be a snack I take to work, just to have during the times between lunch and the evenings before I come home. Okay. I hope this was enjoyable. Please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I would love that. Add in the cottage cheese. I am definitely Bunny. I'm going to absolutely try the chickpeas and add cottage cheese to it the next time I make this. Just to see, because if that tastes great, that's a game changer. And I would love, that would be easy for me to add close to 50 grams of protein on a chickpea meal, which is amazing. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate everyone who, came by, commented, enjoyed the meal. I hope more importantly that you are able to do and recreate this meal because it is really, really easy. And until next time, you'll see me tomorrow. My name is Ayana. Ayana is my name. Thanks for asking. I'll be here tomorrow. Not sure yet what I'm cooking. I normally decide what I'm cooking on my way home, which I think is like most of you guys. But Ayana is Ayana, one A instead of the two A's in the middle. But very close, very close. Hope everyone have an enjoyable evening. And until tomorrow, see you next time. Yes. Bonnie, you are correct. That is Ayana. Sarah, thank you for joining, and hopefully you're making this meal. I hope you're making the meal. And if you do make the meal, go ahead and tag me. I'm on Instagram as Thrifting Diva. Just tag me so I know that, hey, somebody is enjoying this stuff. Okay? All right. Until next time. Bye.